has been a great couple of days for the Pirates here in this series against the Cubs. Some dramatic moments, including Josh Bell coming through with that pinch hit grand slam last night. And here today, the Pirates going for a sweep against the first place Cubs. And really, over the last 10 days, the Pirates have made this a season. Look at it, 14 games back just 10 days ago, and they have picked up 7.5 games in the standings. Now trail the Cubs by 6.5 back now, entering play here this afternoon. Welcome into the booth, Joe Block along with John Wehner. What a thrilling couple of games, and really a great stretch of baseball for this team over the last few days.
You know, to make up ground, you have to win win against the teams that are above you, and the Pirates did that. Had a nice series in St. Louis, won the first two of this series after a great road trip, beginning with the sweep in Oakland. You know, the Pirates, it's pretty remarkable. We're 10 days ago thinking, well, they still have a chance for a wild card, and there's been talk about, are they buyers or sellers? Well, they're not sellers. They might be buyers, and pretty remarkable run.
There have been so many different contributions, and one of them, the big star, of course, Andrew McCutchen, really needing him to get going, and so far the last couple of days, it looks like he's got a new energy, too.
Yeah, you left St. Louis, and you were wondering about Andrew McCutchen. He seemed down. He wasn't getting his hits. Things just weren't right. And hitting can certainly give you a little bit of energy. Andrew McCutchen was all over the place the last couple of nights. It's really nice to see him hit the ball hard, hit the ball out of the ballpark, come up with clutch hits. I think huge, him driving in runs, because he struggled in that department as well. And so hopefully now, finally, Andrew McCutchen will be the McCutchen we've seen since he's become a Pirate.
And almost don't want to have an all-star break right here the way that the Pirates have been playing, but we will conclude the unofficial first half of the season. The Pirates and the Cubs here from PNC Park after this here on Root Sports. And here this afternoon, well, a little revenge, I guess, for the last couple of days for the Pirates, who had been beaten down by these Cubs quite thoroughly in recent times. Now, at least the tide's turning, maybe for the rest of the season. We'll see. The chapter's yet to be written.
I certainly hope so. I tell you, I don't think anybody could have predicted what has gone on here the last 10 days or so. The Cubs struggles, the Pirates resurgent. This is a big game. I mean, you're looking at an opportunity to get just 5.5 back heading to the All-Star break, or if the Pirates lose, 7.5 back. And so, yeah, great opportunity. And you know, the Cubs, again, they're reeling. Still very dangerous. I'm sure they have short memories, just like the Pirates have had in the past. And I think the better team, the team that pitches better, wins today.
Yeah, the Cubs have lost 9 of 10. They've lost 15 of 20. They have a sub-500 record since that great 27-8 start. And the Pirates, on the other hand, they've won 9 of 10. And they've won 12 of their last 15. And they've picked up enough ground in 10 days to really make this thing very interesting in the second half. And a great tradition on Sundays as well, as the kids take the field, get an autograph, and meet one of their favorite Pirates players. Just to take a moment. All these guys, as important as this game is, that's what it's for.
Always about the kids. Love to see that interaction.
Think about that moment. And a lineup for the visitors from Chicago. Joe Madden puts this one together. And Ben Zobrist at top of the order with Chris Bryant in left. Rizzo almost had that cycle last night. Exciting. Wilson Contreras, the rookie catcher, cleans up. Russell, another all-star for these Cubs, along with Hayward, Baez, Almora getting the start in center, and John Lackey doing the pitching.
And doing the pitching for the Pirates, Jonathan Neese. Here's his Hyundai numbers: 7 and 6, a 4.87 ERA. And Neese with a good start last time out against St. Louis on the 4th of July. 5 2/3 innings, only allowed 1 earned run, only 1 walk. So hoping for back-to-back good starts from Mr. Neese.
And the Honda defense behind Neese. Adam Frazier will get the start in right field. Still no Gregory Polanco. Marte and McCutcheon will join him out there. Freese, Mercer, Rodriguez. Is Josh Harrison still banged up? May be available for the game today, as is Matt Joyce, who left the game yesterday with injury. Jaso at first. Eric Fryer, a second game in a row behind the plate. Here's some of the kids up from Indy. Cool and Tyone and Bell, and boy, they have contributed. Even with Cool's rough start last night, Pirates rebounding to win, and win handily, 12-6.
Great fun, great atmosphere. Tell the fans were really enjoying the offensive outburst.
Sellout yesterday. Ben Zobrist, part of the All-Star team. Yeah, another very good crowd here today. I think people are getting that buzz that the Pirates have created with all this winning. And why not? Base hit, and Zobrist will stop it first. Leadoff man on for the Cubs. Look at our Rivers Casino tips to win.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Neese has to have good cutter command. I think that's a pitch that he really likes to go to. He throws it a lot, throws it at different speeds, and to keep it down, keep it off the middle of the plate, I think he'll be successful. And the righties against John Lackey, only a couple lefties in the lineup for the Pirates, but the right-handers, especially recently, have hit Lackey very well. In fact, his last 3 starts, the right-handed batters have been hitting .324 against the veteran John Lackey.
And for the Cubs, you know, their starting pitching was so good early on, and they still lead the league in starters ERA. But as you pointed out, last time these two teams met, you figure it's got to come up, and it has. And so it's not just Lackey. It's all the Cubs starters really have struggled lately. It
just wasn't sustainable. An entire rotation. You know, they were pitching with an ERA under 2 for a while.
In foul ground and playable for Jaso. There's the first down.
In fact, I think, as far as I can remember, since day one, the Cubs have led the National League in ERA, their pitching staff, and they've been overcome. Now they've fallen to second behind the Washington Nationals. But I want to say last time we were in Chicago, their ERA was well under 3.
Yeah, I think it was like about 2.2 starters ERA.
Yeah. And the club overall now at 3.34.
Here's Rizzo, another one of the Cubs All-Stars. Pick up where he left off last night. 4 hits for Rizzo. And a good throw in from right from Frazier. Wow, that showing off his arm a little bit there.
Yeah, as always, we try to throw Rizzo in, and for whatever reason, and I'm thinking it's not just the Pirates, but it's the entire league, because he sits on the plate. You think if you can get it in on that inside corner, you can tie him up, and he's not going to be able to get extended. But we saw it last night and the first pitch here tonight. Try to go in, you miss middle, he's going to hit it hard.
Last night, offensive barrage, especially early. Both teams trading blows back and forth. Cubs with 2 men on. Wilson Contreras, first few weeks in the major leagues, already the cleanup man. Average up to 312 with a couple of hits yesterday. Yeah, the Cubs coming in late today. They need a little breather. McCutchen's glove, everyone had to hold to see, and so now the bases are full.
Another hard hit ball off of Jonathan Neese. The ball right at Andrew McCutchen. Gets glove on it, but just can't corral it. A little bit of a late start. He broke in, then he got back, but got back in plenty of time.
And the Cubs batters thought that McCutchen would probably catch that. That's why they didn't, the runners I should say, that's why they didn't advance. That one is ruled a base hit.
I think in the last 2 weeks, it's the 4th ball I've seen hit an outfielder's glove. It was ruled a hit.
Yeah, I think baseball overall is getting really soft with errors. I mean, and I think McCutchen would tell you he probably would have caught that. He just didn't. Not everybody catches every ball all the time. Now quite a situation for the Cubs with the bases loaded, and Neese is behind 2-0 on another Cubs All-Star, Addison Russell, hitting at .234, voted in by the fans. And a strike. Russell hits just .150 against lefties. Great time to get one of those patented sinker ball double plays from Neese.
Russell, a good fastball hitter. Almost always looking to pull the ball.
Even though he's young, still just an average runner. He can be doubled up. 3-2 now, and he's got to come in with one.
Again, bread and butter. He likes to go to that cutter. Late movement, try to get the hitter to hit on top of it.
Right off the glove of Freese. The Cubs will get 1. They will get 2. And they're up 2-0 here in the first.
You could say that yeah, there's a couple of balls that could have been caught. But 4 of the first 5 hitters hitting the ball right off the barrel of the bat. And hard hit line drives.
Freese has been very sure-handed over there at third, but had a rough game on Friday, made a pair of errors over there. And they'll rule that a single. RBIs 50 and 51 for Russell. Contreras moved on to third on that ball. So even though it's going to go down as 4 singles, as you said, Rock, I mean, there's a real easy path to being out of this inning unscathed. However, Hayward batting with 2 men on, still only 1 out.
And any fielder will tell you if the ball hits your glove, they feel that they should have caught it. Unless you jump and it hits off the very top of your glove or whatever. They expect to catch any ball that hits the glove.
And Nisa had 2 strikes. This Cubs offense coming into today, 2nd most runs scored per game in baseball, and that really hasn't quit during this long stretch of poor play. It's been the pitching that has evaporated of late for the Cubs. So goes the pitching, so goes the team.
Just 2 runs, as you guys, all the Pirate fans have seen over the last 10 days. The Pirates do come back.
So get out of play. Yeah, the Cubs scored 2 in the first inning yesterday. That lead lasted all of an inning. Pirates scored 3 in the second, and then the teams went back and forth. Pirates took the lead and then extended it on that majestic pinch hit grand slam by Josh Bell. One of the great moments in recent Pittsburgh sports history. I'll go that far, only because of the feeling it created and the coincidence of that ball being hit into some fireworks.
Yeah.
Because of the bicentennial celebration going on last night. It's that kind of feeling. Bell is available today to pinch hit too. Nice pitch from Neese, gets the 2nd out.
Big strikeout there, trying to minimize the damage here. One inside with a 90-mile-per-hour fastball right on the inside edge. And I think that, the key to getting the 2 lefties in this lineup, the big lefties, Rizzo and Hayward, I think, are to be able to locate that ball, get that ball in on that inside corner.
Neese will face Javi Baez. He has hit lefties very well. 356 against lefties overall with some good numbers, getting more regular playing time. Cubs have 11 guys on the disabled list. They are battered. They are reeling, are the Cubs. They came in late today to just try to get a little extra rest before this final game. And the irony is about a third of the team is still going to play. They won't have an all-star break. They're going to play in the all-star game.
A lot of travel all the way out to the West Coast.
Neese rebounds with a pair of strikeouts. Cubs get 2. And now the Pirates will have their chance. here on a Sunday afternoon on the banks of the Allegheny. Pirates trail it 2-0. They'll get their first chance to hit now. And here's the RAV4 lineup as penned in by Clint Hurdle for today. John Jaso, along with Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen atop the order. Freese, Rodriguez, and Frazier. Mercer, Fryer, and Neeson there. No Harrison today. Matt Joyce questionable to be available, and Gregory Polanco still banged up. We'll try to get him right after the break.
Veteran John Lackey, 7-5, a 3.5 ERA. That ERA has gone up to 3.5 over his last 3 starts, where he has struggled. He's allowed 14 earned runs over his last 3 starts, covering just 16 in the 3rd innings.
John Jaso, 273. Getting on base at a 351 clip. On base at about 380 in his career as a leadoff man coming into this season. So in the vicinity of what the Pirates were hoping for him, offensively speaking. Kind of that point in the season where you know, season midpoint, right up thereabouts, you kind of look at guys and think, all right, what were we thinking back in February, March about these guys? Where are they at now? Lackey will start him off. Foul tip.
Well, Lackey, not an extremely hard thrower. We'll get it up low 90s, but there is deception, there is movement. The ball does get on the hitter a little bit. You can see there, Jaso unable to hold up.
Starling Marte, newly minted All-Star for the first time. 316 batting average. Base hit.
I wonder if he's better served up at the top of the lineup. You know, he's been getting his hits. The average obviously is up there, coming in at 316. He's been in the middle of the lineup most of the year. Only has 32 RBIs, which is not a lot, even though he's hit around 300 most of the first half of the season with runners in scoring position. Really hasn't been that productive.
And Marte and Mark Melancon receiving their All-Star jerseys today before the game. Both will be heading out and donning that beautiful brown and mustard color uniforms for the All-Star game in San Diego. An homage to the Padres history of those colors.
And when I was talking about Marte and being productive the first half, he's been very productive, but in terms of driving and runs in the middle lineup, you know, you'd expect a little more than 32, but he's been productive in other ways, stealing bases, getting on base.
McCutchen now up to 36 RBIs. He's driven in 4 in the first 2 games of this series. Yeah, I like that thought, you know, with the stolen bases. And Marte, even though his batting average is most of this, he actually has a touch better on base percentage than Jaso at this point. So whether you lead him off about a second or whatever. But if the Pirates' mantra is to get those guys with high on base percentages near the top of the lineup, which they've talked about early in the year, Marte can certainly qualify, even though he doesn't draw a lot of walks. He gets on base with hits and then can steal a base. 28 steals for Marte. 29 steals for Marte.
Boy, I was surprised that Contreras even bothered throwing that ball, but then watching Marte slide, I don't know how he stayed on the bag. A huge jump, and then he was coming in hot, and I thought he was going to go right by it, and almost did. That the oven mitt barely able to hang on to the bag as he continued, the momentum continued by the bag.
29 steals for Marte, and in scoring position. David Freese. And Contreras wants to come out.
Maybe they didn't go over the signs with the runner on second before the game, which wouldn't make sense, but so maybe somebody forgot.
David Freese. He's getting on base. Quite the clip. 375 on base.
Hitting on base, driving the ball, hitting the ball out of the ballpark, driving in runs.
And with the exception of Joyce, anybody that's had some regular playing time, he's tops on the Pirates in on base percentage, right behind Joyce, who would be leading the National League if he had enough plate appearances. Matt Joyce not available today. Perhaps we'll see. Not starting at least. Had some left quad tightness yesterday. Freeze ahead in the count. 3-1 now. Base hit. Lankley scores the speedy Marte from second. And Marte is out to end the inning. Through one, it's still 2-0 Chicago.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
2-0 Chicago through an inning here on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Pittsburgh. Very glad you're with us. John Neese, 25 pitches to get through that first inning. Had some balls deflect off of fielders' gloves a couple of times in that first inning. Albert Almora Jr. caught a piece of that one. Lackey and Zobrist to follow, 8, 9, and 1 in the Cubs order. That one went awry.
Fortunately, kind of into no man's land where it couldn't hit anybody. think it went over the bat boy's head twice. Went over his head going in and over his head coming out.
Some pine tar on that. Very sticky substance. You ever have that on your car? Parked under the wrong tree, you know how tough that is to get off.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about certain hitters. Certain hitters, they want their hands dry, and you'll see. I would think the bat would fly out of the hands of those guys. Certain guys like their hands sticky, like really sticky, like they can almost not get their hands off the bat.
Right to freeze, and there's one away. You can enjoy a movie night under the stars Thursday at PNC Park. You can watch the baseball classic The Sandlot on the PNC Park scoreboard. If you'd like to come out, tickets just $5, and you can enjoy discounted food and beverages too. So get your tickets at pirates.com/movie night. Right there. Larger than the one you've got in your home. And probably more friends than you probably would invite to your home usually.
A few.
Lackey, a 106 career hitter. You know, I was looking at the schedule for the Cubs, and they've been on a downturn more and more. Frazier to the wall. What a catch. Came up as an infielder, looking good out there in the outfield too.
Yeah, just go back and run till you catch it. And there's so many guys that are worried, they might be feeling the wall or worried about running into the wall. Not Adam Frazier. Got a good break on it. Took a good route. Kept running till he caught it.
That's what the warning track's for, right? How do you feel that as an outfielder?
It's hard. I mean, to feel the warning track, I don't know. You kind of have a feeling where you are and where the fence is. You might want to reach back with your hand or your glove to see how close you're getting to that fence. But to be perfectly honest, you're concentrating on catching the ball, and I don't ever remember feeling the warning track, to be honest with you.
What's interesting is it's not uniform either. There's certain ballparks where it's deeper than in other parks. And that dirt out there doesn't feel any different really than stepping on the grass, unless you're barefoot maybe. But sometimes you've seen warning tracks, right? Like kind of crushed rocks and things like that. That might be a little softer.
Back in the day, there was turf and rubber and everything else. Back in the day, during batting practice, you worked on it every day. You worked on it during batting practice every day. Your outfield coach would be out there and they'd hit your ground balls, hit your fly balls, then hit your balls to the wall, to where you get used to going into the wall. And then you just get used to it. And Bill Verdon was the best when he was the outfield instructor here, and he would sit behind second base, and he'd hit balls where they were just to the top of the wall, just over the wall. He hit them high, he hit line drives, and then he literally worked on catching the ball up against the wall or around the wall on a daily basis.
So 1-2-3 inning. That's his third strikeout. And the Pirates come to bat down 2-0. home field advantage, and Sean Rodriguez has put on some great numbers here at PNC Park. 308, OPS nearly 1,000, and he's hit 5 home runs here, including 1 each of the past couple of games. And now has his first chance today against John Lackey. When he gets hot, he gets hot.
I'll tell you what, you talk about production and driving in runs and coming up big. Again.
The hat trick. Number 3 of the series for number 3. Home run of the year for Sean Rodriguez.
What a missile. I mean, that's a line drive. Almora Jr. in center, he barely moved because he knew, I mean, that hit off the batter's eye. This ball hits off almost the middle of the batter's eye.
Estimated at 449 feet on StatCast.
Just picture perfect, and see the extension, but still inside the ball.
Ten homers, 31 RBIs.
I mean, that was loud, and that was a no-doubter.
First Pirate to homer in 3 straight games this season. You talk about production, 162 at bats.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, even if you triple that, you're still not at 500 at bats.
It's a home run every 16 at bats. That's an RBI, just about 1 every 5, a little over 1 every 5 at bats. And yeah,
off Lackey.
No way.
Baez with the errant throw, and Frazier with good wheels is going to get into second. They would have had him with a good throw. That'll be a base hit. And a throwing error on Baez.
Another good at bat. Adam Frazier. We're going to come out and look at John Lackey as this ball hit him right. Hopefully for his sake, not off the arm, but the back. And he shoos them away. Baez. He had time, believe it or not. He had time because the ball was hit so hard, but just out of the reach. Rizzo.
So a chance here to tie it on a base hit. Frazier with those good wheels at second. Jordy Mercer checking in at 273.
See Jordy trying to push the ball the other way to advance Frazier.
Clint Hurdle talking about Frazier today, about not just Josh Bell, but Frazier, a couple of guys who he immediately trusts coming up from Indianapolis. Mercer called out on strikes.
You know, in these situations with a runner on second, nobody out now, that pitch is just off the plate. And you may be saying at home, well, he's trying to hit the right side. Why doesn't that's a good pitch to hit to the right side? The thing is, when you're in those situations, you're expecting the pitcher to throw it in, so your sights are kind of on the inside part of the plate. You're trying to inside out the ball because the pitcher's going to try to make it hard for you. And so when they do trick you and throw it away, it looks like it's a mile away because you're looking in. And then you end up freezing, and still, the ball's off the plate. It's a ball. But as a hitter, again, your sights, that's the last pitch you're expecting. You're not expecting them to throw you a pitch when they know you're trying to hit the ball the right side. They're not going to throw you a pitch that makes it easy. So you got to look for the pitch that is more difficult to hit over there.
On a strike on Eric Fryer, including his time with the Cardinals, hitting a .380. He's tried to simplify his approach, he said, at the plate this year. Fryer doing it again. He's got an RBI double, and we're knotted up at 2.
Simplify the approach. He makes it look simple. Hitting's not simple. Hitting is very difficult. But Eric Fryer is making it look so easy. And that's a bad breaking ball left up middle. He doesn't want to throw it there. He wanted to get it down and away. But that doesn't mean you always get hurt by making a mistake. Well, Eric Fryer made him hurt. Boy, it's just fun to watch.
Baez makes a calm throw over there to get Frazier. Maybe this inning is spelling out a little differently. There's been a play behind the pitchers today that has accounted for a lot of the scoring. Fourth double for Fryer. Second one with the Pirates. He's a .151 career hitter. Rodriguez's home run starting the inning. Talk about coming back. The Pirates did that in 6 straight games, and now each of the last 8 games now they've won have been they come from behind fashion.
You're gonna wonder, like John Lackey threw a 2-0 breaking ball to Jonathan Neese, and I'm starting to wonder, does he not feel that he can throw the fastball where he wants? Why else would you throw a pitcher a 2-0 breaking ball? Now 2 straight fastballs after falling behind 3-0.
Good at bat here from Neese.
Make them work.
Now the Pirates always talk about when the pitcher gives you 3 plate appearances of 5 pitches, you've stolen an inning from the other pitcher. And when the starting pitcher gets 3 at bats, that must mean you had a nice night offensively. Fryer out at second, average runner. And Neese will be called out on strikes.
How about that? Backdoor breaking ball. 3-2 to the opposing pitcher.
So 2 gone. And you can save big on Pirates tickets with your Dick's Sporting Goods scorecard, up to $10 on tickets for Monday through Thursday home games. Get your tickets at pirates.com/scorecard. 2-out chance for Jaso. 2-2 in the second. Boy, it's a big game. It's July. We're still technically in the first half of the season. But it feels pretty big today, doesn't it?
I think it's important. It's a big swing. I mean, 5.5 doesn't seem like any ground to make up. 7.5 seems like a bit more, and that essentially is where it's going to be after today's game.
The Pirates have leapfrogged the Cardinals again, so if Pirates win today, they will be definitely in second place in the division at the break. And they've gained so much ground in such a short period of time.
Yeah. Which is unusual. It's bizarre.
10-day span, they picked up 7.5 games on the Cubs.
And you think about where we are in the season and approaching the second half, and the Pirates after they will have 73 games, and let's say you're 5.5 back, or 6.5, or it'll be 5.5 or 7.5. You only need to make up 1 game every 10. You think of it that way. I mean, you have a lot of time to catch up.
Will this drop?
Yep.
Here comes Fryer. He's in, and the Pirates have the lead. A big 2-out hit from John Jaso.
Offense is fun to watch because the production comes from all over the place. It comes from new guys. It comes from veteran guys. It comes from bench guys. It comes from your star players. John Jaso gets tied up there, but so what? He finds grass. And Jason Hayward, a good outfielder, Gold Glover out there in right field, but he can't get to it. Nothing he can do because the ball wasn't hit hard enough. So the Pirates take the lead.
They've answered with 3 in the second after the Cubs scoring twice in the first, just like last night. Hayward will end the inning. This inning all got started with a big blast. After Jaso's 2-out single, before that it was Sean Rodriguez. 449 feet to center, and the Pirates have the lead.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Tracks and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Check out the Barrel Hot List at barrel.com. Now the only way to buy a car. Let's go Bucks!
And the Pirates have given John Neese the lead, 3-2 as we start the third. National League home run leader Chris Bryant leads things off. What happened with John Neese here?
Yeah, I'm guessing he hit a little hole, a little slip. Front foot landed and slid forward.
Bryant, one of 7 Cubs All-Stars, elected to start at third base by the fans, and he's played outfield in the whole series. Played outfield a good part of this season too. And a leadoff walk to Bryant. First one issued today by Neese. Some Point Park tweets, and Matt pointing out that Sean is on fire, and Jeffrey referencing last year's wild card game. Ben Serpico with that hat trick. Indeed, yeah, he's when he gets hot, and he is white hot right now. And on the pace, you know, if now. It's kind of misleading sometimes because guys that don't play a lot, they don't play a lot usually for some sort of reason, especially guys that are more veteran players. But if you you space out the numbers over the course of the whole season, it's like a 30 home run pace, 100 RBI pace for Sean Rodriguez. So some of the skill of a manager, right, is to use a guy at the right times.
Try to create good matchups. Sean, I mean, he's been hitting righties, lefties. He's getting opportunities, and of course there are guys that are banged up, and so it's great to have the luxury of having a guy like Sean Rodriguez. Josh Harrison, before he became a regular, was the guy that could move all around the field, and he proved his worth by hitting, that he deserved more playing time, just like Sean Rodriguez. Another guy, Matt Joyce, can make an argument, a little tougher for him to get in there. Obviously he's banged up now, but a guy with similarly great numbers in a limited amount of plate appearances. Harder to find him at bats though.
Frazier came in on that ball, and it evades him, and Bryant will move up to third. Not only the first step, but several steps in from Frazier, and at that point he couldn't recover.
Yeah, and Rizzo, everything he hits ends up falling in. Now that's another ball he's hit. He's hit 4 balls against the Pirates that went for extra bases that should have been outs. Maybe even 5. I mean, Adam Frazier takes the right route. It's a routine fly ball. Marte could have caught a ball last night. There was the one ball off of McCutcheon's ball glove earlier this year. One in Wrigley that should have been caught that turned into an extra base hit. He's just living large against the Pirates. Everything he hits falls.
Wilson Contreras with a single his first time around.
I don't know if I said should have or could have. I guess I should say could have been caught. If I said should have, I didn't mean that.
In range if everything was executed properly, right? Which doesn't always happen.
But he's doing everything right. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's putting the ball in play and they're falling. And
he's an all-star for a reason.
Yes, but he's gotten
a little extra help.
A lot of breaks, way more than he should have so far in the Pirates-Cubs matchups.
And the defense has not helped out John Neese today.
And we talked about a couple line drives. Now, there were some hard hit balls off of Neese that could have been caught that weren't. That went for hits. That one wasn't hit as hard and should have been caught.
Nice play by Jaso. Get the sure out. Tying run will come across. RBI for Contreras. Cubs have tied it at 3.
And he can handle the bat. Contreras can handle the bat, and his job was to get up there and hit a ball to the right side. Almost rewarded with a base hit and 2 RBIs, except John Jaso made another nice play, and he's made a ton of nice plays look easy. And that was not an easy one, but saved a run for now.
I agree.
Off of Neese. They recover to get an out and stall Rizzo at third.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play. I think he got glove on it, and that's some good defense. Jonathan Neese. All you could do, that ball gets on you in a hurry, is defend yourself, and he's able to get that glove up and recover. Fortunately, the ball doesn't bounce too far away, so Rizzo can't go anywhere. Easy throw to Jaso.
Now a chance to get out of it with just the one. Right at Marte. And Neese rebounds nicely. Cubs get the equalizer. And back and forth we go. Tied at 3. Tuned after the game for Inside Pirates Baseball, and on this week's edition, do hitters prefer facing a tired starting pitcher or a gritty bullpen? Plus, guys talk about their dreams of making highlight reel catches. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, today after postgame on Root Sports. Andrew McCutchen down a strike.
See a little bit out in front. At contact point, barrel just too far out in front of the hands.
Having a nice series, 5 out of 10 against these Cubs. This one head well to center. Now more out back, and there it goes! A home run for Andrew McCutchen. Back out on top.
Andrew McCutchen back on top. He's on time against the fastball. We saw it last night against John Lester. Saw it right there against John Lackey. The fastball, the previous pitch, a little bit out in front. This one right on time. As you'll see, the hands coming through the contact point. Inside, extended. And Andrew McCutchen, a lot of the inconsistency, I thought, was because of timing and being able to consistently get extended against the fastball. And here you see everything's on time, on the front side, inside it, through it.
David Freese down on strikes.
See, Andrew McCutchen will get his hands back early. His hands come back. Lester releases it. Watch the foot gets down. The ball's about halfway there. Everything's just on time. If that foot doesn't get down early enough, again, that's part of the timing mechanism.
Great look on our Allegheny Health Network Super Mode. Just a feel for what's going right for McCutchen, who's driven in 5 in this series.
You know, when it comes to hitting, you don't have much time to hit, and that's why these guys work on things constantly about their mechanics. As far as everybody has a load, a trigger. You know, they'll start their hands. Some have more hand movement than others. You see Andrew McCutchen doesn't have a ton of hand movement, but he does. He'll start his hands, you know, maybe by the P or the I in Pirates, and then he gets them back to that back shoulder, and then the foot has to get down early enough to release those hands. So the hands get back, the foot's down. As long as you have that part of the timing down. If your foot gets down late, you're in trouble. If your hands get back late, you're in trouble. If your hands are back early and your foot's down early, you have a chance. But sometimes, you know, you get the hands back early, and the foot's early, and you don't keep the hands back, that's when you're in trouble. But there you see the ball's halfway there. He's down. He releases the hands. He's inside the ball.
I think what's amazing about that shot too, for the layman, me looking at that, you don't react to the ball until it's halfway to home plate, because that's how long it takes to recognize it, right?
You have to recognize it. And certain guys with better bat speed, they have a little more time to recognize the speed, the spin. The problem is with hitting is if you're up there and you're thinking about mechanics, if you're thinking about getting your hands back earlier or getting your foot down earlier, you don't always pick the ball up early enough because you're in a thought process. You know, hitters, they do all the pregame work to where you don't have to think. You trust the mechanics of your swing. You're going to trust that you're on time.
Nips the outer edge and a couple of strikeouts here for Lackey.
You know, certain people like Sean Rodriguez has a little more of a leg kick. You see how he brings it up, puts it down, and he thought that pitch was off, and it's It's a borderline pitch. It goes against them. And I think that's more frustrating when you're locked in because you feel like you can hit anything. You can cover both sides of the plate up and down. And if you get a pitch and go against you, you're frustrated.
Inning ends, but not before the Pirates retake the lead. On the home run by Andrew McCutchen, his team leading 14. And the season.
It's time for the Toyota RAV 4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
And the 4-3 Pirates. Home runs today. Rodriguez and then McCutchen. John Neese will have a lead again. Bottom third of the Cubs order coming up. Will the Pirates be 5.5 back or 7.5 back entering the All-Star break? Pirates have really come on, and at the right time too, taking 3 out of 4 in St. Louis, and a chance here today to sweep the Cubs.
And you're coming back in the second half healthy. You're going to get Cervelli before long. Cole should be ready to go. Vogelsong looks to be ready to go. You know, the guys with the nagging injuries should feel a lot better.
And we'll give you an update on Cole and Vogelsong a little bit later when their days are done.
And guarantee you that the starting pitching will be better in the second half. There's just too much talent for it not to be.
Talking with Clint Hurdle today about that. Yeah, Cervelli will probably go out for a few days and do a rehab as Baez for the second straight inning. Cubs have a leadoff walk, so Cervelli will probably get a few at-bats in and be back. The lineup will be whole again. Polanco, you would assume, would feel better after getting 6 straight days of rest. That left hamstring, left leg in general, that's been bothering him. Pirates getting just about fully healthy. And that schedule you point out, Rock. Now, you never know what can happen. Just because you're facing teams that haven't won, right now you're facing a Cubs team that's down, even though they've got one of the best records in baseball. So you might face a team that has a losing record overall, but they're hot at that time, or you've run into their best pitcher. So it's no automatic ticket to anything, but the Pirates' schedule in terms of their caliber of opponents is very favorable. Right after that Washington series, the final 70 games, 39 of those are against the bottom losing teams with a losing record in the National League. So
all you have to do as a Pirate fan is look at last year and look at the teams that the Pirates had trouble with last year. The records don't mean a thing. The Pirates went out of the All-Star break last year, went to Milwaukee and looked horrible and got swept. And so any given series, the Reds, arguably the worst team in the National League, went and swept the Cubs, this past week. It doesn't matter. Records do not matter. Any given day, you can get your butt beat in the major leagues. They're all major league players, and so the record, yes, it's much more difficult to win against the better teams, especially with the better arms. It's going to be a tough series in Washington. You're playing against a team with really good arms, good starting pitching. It's going to be more difficult. Doesn't mean they can't win.
Almora. And now the Cubs will retake the lead on that 2-run home run. And the Pirates have battled back to take a pair of leads, but the Cubs keep overcoming that. Second home run for Almora.
Another hard hit ball, another pitch left middle of the plate. Location has been a bit of an issue. Some balls have been hit hard, but so what? The way the Pirates offense is going, the way this weekend's gone, I mean, nobody's panicking in the Pirates dugout.
Only the 4th inning. That's the 20th home run allowed by Nice. Talking about the schedule, I think what you just said, the arms. There was a stretch where the Pirates really faced some very, very, very good starting pitching. This Freeze comes up with that one. And generally speaking, the teams in the bottom part of the league aren't going to have as many good starting pitchers. So what has been the most consistent performer for the Pirates? It's been the offense, as we've seen here, and so that enables the offense to generally still be pretty good. So that's what's encouraging for me now. If the starting pitching comes around, well, look out. Then you really got something. Clint Hurdle acknowledged that too. That's the one real phase that Pirates have lacked for most of this season.
And it will be better. It will be better in the second half. The starting pitching. In my opinion, it's a guarantee.
Asked him about do you feel you've got 5 guys now that you've seen 11 different starters or so? Do you feel like you have 5 guys for the second half that you can count on? And he said yes. And he named Cole is coming back. Vogelsong is coming back. Named Tyone. I mentioned Liriano is improving. And we'll see how all the other guys fit in and shake out. There's Liriano. And improved performances last time. Tyone will be healthy and ready to go right after the break.
Ton of off days too through the first 30-plus games after the break.
Yeah, you were pointing out there won't be a whole lot of need for a 5th starter, right? You were calculating.
Yeah, not very many.
Look at our Nissan Road Ahead and all those empty spots in there. Those are off days, something that the Pirates didn't have very many of because of rainouts and such in the first half. And that could afford them to kind of consolidate that rotation a little bit.
You figure the 23rd of July is the only time the Pirates need a 5th starter. And then the next time it's not until August.
You're saying 13th or 18th or something like that. So I mean, first month or so, maybe you need 1.
And the whole month of August, I think they only need a 5th starter 4 times. My notes here are all a mess, so I'm struggling.
You were saying, I think you said 3 or 3 times total or 4 times total until Labor Day, basically. Late break in. And that allows Bryant to reach. Hardest play is that line drive right to you in the outfield. That's a base hit for Bryant. That's about as close as you can get.
I say it all the time. I just don't like the slide but it's throughout baseball. The sliding catch is in.
The very dapper Ray Searage makes his way out. The throwbacks. You know, looking too, this is the right time to catch the Cubs too, because their schedule very formidable. That first 5 weeks of the second half for the Cubs, they're going to go on one plane ride out to Oakland and back, and they'll have off days flanking that. That's the only time that they'll be without, you know, within an hour and a half of home. It's almost all home games as Caminero gets up. So this Cubs team, once they get some of their 11 men off the DL back, they're probably going to get back to some of their winning ways, and the Pirates need to take advantage here today. It's going to be a battle.
So the Cubs bust the Milwaukee and the White Sox, who they play every year. It's so unusual at Major League level to be able to bust to your road games.
Yeah.
Do they do it in New York? Do they bust to like Philly?
I think they might take a train sometimes. I don't know if they do that.
The Pirates have done that in the past. Have taken the train, whether it be from New York to Philly or Philly to Washington.
Yeah, the Cubs 24. Let me get this right. 24 out of 32 games are going to be at home to begin the second half, and like you pointed out, 5 of those it's just a bus trip either in town. You can just drive to U.S. Cellular Field or a bus up to Milwaukee, and then a 3-gamer in Oakland. That's it. A couple of 2-out hits here. Now the Cubs have runners at the corners.
Everything he hits finds grass, finds a hole. We mentioned the double back in the 3rd inning, a bad route in the outfield. This one just eludes the diving Sean Rodriguez.
So Rizzo now 8 for 11 in this series. And that's going to be it for John Neese. Now Clint Hurdle's had a short hook, and hey, why not? Cool yesterday. Didn't look like he had it, and Neese, after getting a couple of leads, hasn't been able to hold him. So back to that bullpen again. They've been good, but they've been used a lot. And they're coming on to try to keep this one at 5-4 with the Cubs in the lead. Jerseys. I love those 86ers. The former Met John Neese goes 3 2/3 today. Gave up 8 hits, 5 plus the 2 runners aboard. And how about what we've seen lately from Archimedes Caminero? Wow.
He's been outstanding, and he's been getting a lot of work with the starters coming up a bit short. 338, the ERA's down to that opponent average. I mean, it was way up there for a while. Now under 300 at 294.
Coming on with 2 men aboard. Comes cleanup man is Wilson Contreras, who was singled and bounced out but brought in a run. 1 pitch, and Marte had a tough time locating it. My goodness.
Good job, Jordy. I'll tell you what, yeah, everything's an adventure.
He deserved that hug. Mailed him out and likely saved a run, if not 2. And it was Marte. Hugs all around. On our UPMC scoreboard, the Cubs have retaken the lead 5-4. Kind of what we saw yesterday. Jordy Mercer trying to make the play to end the 4th inning.
This could be dangerous. This could be ugly when an outfielder's coming in and an infielder going back, and if you're not going to call for it, it could be a nasty collision.
Looked like Marte never really had a feel for it. And I was watching his mouth. It didn't look like he called for it, because I don't think he knew exactly where it was until the last moment. So what do you do there? As an outfielder, can you concede if the infielder knows where it is, or what do you do?
That ball's his ball. He has to call for it. He caught it. Call it. Get him out of the way. Against John Lackey. Rodriguez leading off the 2nd, McCutchen leading off the 3rd. Pirates with at least a hit in every inning. That little breaking ball, first pitch. Eric Fryer, who's been a tough out since putting on the Pirate uniform.
there's Jeff Locke, who has volunteered to work out of the bullpen if needed with the All-Star break coming up.
I'm getting loose now. I'm sure, unless it's a very quick inning, I think Jeff Locke will start the 5th. Unless he doesn't have enough time to warm up. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
He already got a little work in right after Caminero came in, so
obviously as a starting pitcher you're going to need a little more time to get loose. They're more routine oriented. I think the relievers are used to just getting up and getting loose a lot quicker, so it's hard to ask for much more out of Caminero. What he's done this month of July, been used a lot. Only needs 1 pitch to record the final out in the top half of the inning.
Good to see Matt Joyce in there. He's Caminero excelled since coming off the DL. Joyce leaving the game yesterday with tightness in his left quad. So able to give an at bat today. And baseball's best pinch hitter. If there was a pinch hitting Triple Crown, he'd be right there, right? Yeah. Total hits, home runs, and RBIs. Tied in hits and leading in home runs, and by far still leading in RBIs. Near a team record already. 2-2 here. Three balls and 2 strikes on Joyce. I'm talking about Locke. Locke will be working on 3 days rest. He pitched 4 innings and threw 77 pitches on Wednesday. So usually a starting pitcher would get 4 days rest to go a whole start, but he's not going to be asked to go forever today. High in the air to right, but playable. The first 1-2-3 inning for John Lackey, and the Cubs will take a 5-4 lead into the 5th. Beautiful look at this one from our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Fitz and the Tantrums come to Stage AE on Thursday. Just crawling right along as the offenses have been quite potent in this series.
Jeff Locke, first relief appearance in some time. Deceiving ERA at 5.38. We've talked about that, how a few starts have gotten out of hand. 277 opponent's average. Perhaps 100 innings after today's outing.
First one since August 14th, 2012. First 2 outings of Locke's big league career were out of the bullpen, and since then 104 consecutive starts. Working on 3 days rest and giving some needed length. Pirates will continue to have short starts, and despite all this winning, it's been the bats and the bullpen been helping out the rotation over this last stretch.
Nice little changeup there from Jeff Locke after the first 2 pitches. Fastballs. Pretty close. 93. Doesn't get the call. Just off the plate inside. Threw another one in there, a little closer to the corner. Wasted.
Madison Russell credited with a 2-run single back in the first.
More and more comfortable with that changeup. Seen him working both sides of the plate more often.
Got underneath it. Andrew McCutchen making sure he had it. Having a little fun with himself.
Watching it in. Making sure he holds on.
He's had a couple deflect off that glove today, so wanted to make sure. I talked with him this morning. He's been in a good mood about things the way that he's just been the last couple of days with the bats, but also, you know, I feel like the energy has really kind of been, you know, brighter from him. And I asked him, I said, is it just because you're hitting? I'm thinking that. He says, yes, I've been that way, but I really do think that even defensively speaking, on the bases, there's just a better look to him. And I you know, as a hitter, right, there's got to be some confidence that lags at certain times throughout the season, and he's sky high right now, it feels like, and it's good to see.
It's depressing when you don't hit. It's a struggle. But that shouldn't change any other aspect of your game as far as running the bases or defense. Your offense can't go with you on the bases. Your offense can't go with you when you got a glove on your hand. But it can be depressing. It could be a mental struggle at the plate. And so the other stuff, whoa,
nice catch.
I didn't think that anybody had a chance at that ball. And there have been some balls hit today that could have been caught that haven't been caught. And this is a case where the ball shouldn't have been caught, but was caught. This thing right over Locke's head. He's ducking out of the way, and you see the ball. Look at the slice. That ball coming back towards Mercer as Mercer's going to his left. The ball's kind of coming towards him, but it took a good jump, good timing, full extension to take that hit away.
Mercer,
get there.
Oh, wow, almost at Trent. Just unbelievable play.
That would have been an unbelievable play. I mean, that would have been something else.
And Baez runs pretty well, too.
Yes, he does. And Jordy Mercer with that strong throwing arm. Hard to put a lot on it when you're running in the wrong direction. The jump throw and just couldn't pick it. Jaso, good effort. Hard to tell if the throw would have beat him if Jaso was able to keep it in his glove. But that's a heck of an effort.
Would have been very close, and even just to have a chance. on either of those last 2 balls. That's fun. So 2-out base runner. Almora homered his last time. That came off of Nice. Nice started this game, gave up 5 runs in 3 2/3. Locke coming on in relief for the first time in almost 4 years. Baez has swiped 6 bases, been thrown out once. Locke gets to look right at him and he's set.
You don't normally see the hold with a lefty. You see the hold where a pitcher, there's actually a sign for the pitcher to come set and kind of hold to see if the runner will tip anything, maybe try to break early or flinch. But with the lefty, it may have been the first time I've seen it.
Four Cubs in the 5th. Fair ball and a friendly bounce for Frazier. They're going to wave home Baez. Now the stop sign was put up and he ran through it. He's out and the Pirates get out of the inning.
Well, a break there for the Pirates. Bad decision there by the Cubs. That's easy pickings there. Frazier, good job of throwing it towards the plate, not second. Good strong throw from Rodriguez. Still 5-4.
A very good play by Adam Frazier.
Yeah, this ball gets down and a nice kick. It doesn't go into the corner. It comes out to Frazier. And so Frazier throws it to Rodriguez. And so the throw from Rodriguez in plenty of time to tag out Baez as Baez tries to get that foot in there, but the tag comes first. And so it looks like a bad play, a good break for the Pirates. But I'll tell you this right here. If this throw from Frazier goes to second, it's a great play with Blackie, the pitcher, coming up next. And I don't know if that's where Gary Jones, the third base coach, was anticipating that throw from Frazier to go to second. And soft liner gloved before it hit the ground. Yeah, and so that's the only thing about that maybe Gary Jones was, he did put up the stop sign, but late. But if that throw goes into second base, it's worth the risk to try to bring Baez around because the pitcher is up next. There's 2 outs. But once that throw came into the cutoff man, Rodriguez, dead duck. Should have been held up.
Great play all around. Fryer putting on the final tag. Adam Frazier's first career outfield assist. Not bad for a guy who came up as an infielder, right?
Yeah.
Learning the outfield this year in Indianapolis. Marte with a hit today.
The simplest thing to do as an outfielder, if you haven't played there a lot, is get to the ball and get it in as quickly as you can. Don't waste any time. Throw it in the direction it's supposed to go. That'll stop a lot of base runners from trying to take an extra base. Just get to it and get it in. You only have to be that accurate. When they see the ball coming in, they'll put on the brakes. If you get to it and get rid of it quickly, a lot of times. And Sean Rodriguez has played out there plenty, and very, very good outfielder.
I was going to say that they clipped him.
Must have heard something. Couldn't see anything.
By a thread of that synthetic fiber that makes up those retro uniforms. Rayon or whatever they are. Last time around, Andrew McCutchen leading off the 3rd inning. Unloading on John Lackey. He's had a heck of a series at the plate. 6 for 11 with 5 RBIs. He's homered in consecutive games. And you get the feeling again that he's dangerous. Not to say that he couldn't hit a home run or couldn't come through with a hit, but some timely hits, as you pointed out, in the open rock in this series, and some big time home runs that he feels like he's a threat again.
Yeah, and again, it helps so much with the confidence. It helps so much about everything. I mean, you search and you search when you struggle for that extended period of time, especially with the caliber of hitter that Andrew McCutchen is. I mean, it had to be so frustrating for him. I mean, probably worked in the cage more than he's ever had to. He's probably thought about it more than he's ever done in the past. He's just never been in a prolonged slump like that. And I think it becomes a bit of a mental thing. And that one there you see a little deeper. The extension on the home run, that bat head was probably at least another foot out in front at contact point.
Marte running late on the pitch. Pitches a ball, throws high. Another steal for Marte. And he goes to 3rd late, and he'll get in there. Stolen base number 30 for Marte, and a throwing error by Contreras.
Yeah, Contreras, another poor throw. We saw it last night. It led to a Pirates run. It may lead to another run here as Marte has this base stolen. Throws late, throws way wide. And with that good speed, even though it took him a little while to get going towards 3rd.
30 steals at the All-Star break. Maybe more. Infield in except for at 3rd.
Which still, I like the positioning. Yeah, I've always thought, like with a right-handed hitter up and the runner on 3rd, you didn't have to play even with the bat. You didn't have to play in the grass. You can still play back because the ball's going to get to you just as quickly, being a little deeper at 3rd than the other infielders that are even with the bag. You'll still have time to make a play at the plate.
If you draw a line across, they're almost all at the same depth that way.
Yeah, and he might be a little bit deeper, but still, the ball typically, unless it's a swinging bunt, it's going to get to you quickly. There's a lot of topspin, and to me, it gives Baez a little more range over there at 3rd, and so he can cover a little more ground and still have a chance at a play at the plate.
Went off speed, and McCutchen strikes out.
And an interesting pitch from John Lackey. I don't know if I ever recall him dropping down like this, kind of throwing from the side, a breaking ball that he left on the inner half of the plate. He got away with it. You see where Contreras is. He wanted it away. He had to reach back in. With the way Andrew's been swinging the bat this weekend, he's lucky that that ball wasn't crushed.
7th strikeout for Lackey. David Freese 0 for 2.
I mean, that's a pretty big pitch in that situation. You kind of invent something and you drop down and you got away with it.
2-out hit could tie it. Speedy Marte at third.
Got away with one there. Curveball he left up. And that's kind of been a pitch that he's struggled with in recent starts, the curveball. You see, that's inner third up. Last 3 starts, opponents have hit that curveball at a 625 clip.
That sounds pretty high.
That's really high. He doesn't throw a lot of curveballs. He's more fastball slider. But he'll throw the curveball this year so far almost 13% of the time. That's about 12 or 13 a start.
3 wild pitches for Lackey. Stays there after that save. 3-1. Freese gets aboard. Sean Rodriguez is next. Rodriguez is homered today. There he is. And he will have a chance to bat. And our Allegheny Health Network injury update, and Garrett Cole, 5 scoreless innings for Indianapolis today. Ryan Vogelsong up in Erie for Altoona. He went 5 innings, giving up 3 runs in his start. And great to see Vogelsong back on a mound. I saw his wife Nicole tweeting about it, and to have him back out there is great. And Cole has looked fantastic in his 2 starts with Indy. And so that's great. Cole should be back, it seems, if everything came out okay. Right after the break sometime.
Yeah, and it looks like Vogelsong would be ready to come back after the break, but he cannot come off because he's on the 60-day until July 23rd.
So runners at the corners. 1 on Rodriguez. I just got a note passed along to us about Marte and his 30 steals before the All-Star break. Only 3 other Pirates have ever done that. Omar Moreno did it 4 times. Tony Womack a pair of times, and Frank Tavares also once. High and down the line, twisting foul.
Come through with 2 strikes.
Lackey already at 88 pitches. This spot leads off the 6th.
Had that big hole over there, just topped it. Too close to Rizzo.
2 left for the Buccos, trailing 5-4.
Shore here on Root Sports as the Cubs lead the Pirates by a score of 5-4. Well, last inning we told you about Garrett Cole and his efforts in his second rehab start at AAA Indianapolis. But as he tries to get his way back into the rotation, let's tell you about his efforts as it pertains to charity. On July 24th at Hyde Park Steakhouse from 7 to 9 p.m., he will kick off his Uncork for a Cause charity program to raise awareness for Pirates charities and the Children's Institute. Now, he is also releasing his own wine. In fact, he helped design the label for it, as you can see here. It will be featured at the event and is part of the general admission cost, which is $125 per ticket. For more information, please go to uncorkforacause.com. And guys, my wife Heidi and I are wine connoisseurs.
Oh.
So, yeah, we'll be there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for that update. Yeah, that'll be fun if you want to join Garrett Cole and company for that, and Dan. I'm curious to know what his notes will be on that. I started to learn about wine a little bit. There's a lot to learn about all that stuff. I've been more of the other stuff. You're supposed to know a lot about it, and I don't know a lot about it yet. What do you got there, Dan?
Joe, you were talking about
how
the
do you know
notes
about it?
as far as how it may taste.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with the design of the actual wine.
Okay.
Just the label. But he assures me it tastes good.
It tastes good. Yeah. That's about as far as I can describe it so far.
That and a good piece of steak. That's it.
Yes. It tastes a little red to me. Okay, good. I don't know all the other jargon yet.
It's easy. Red, white, pink, sparkling.
Hey, you can use your Port Authority Connect card to save big on Pirates tickets this season. Up to $8 per ticket on select Sunday through Thursday home games here at PNC Park. Connect and save with the Port Authority Connect card. Get your tickets at pirates.com/Connect card. Remember, no beverages on the team. That's your mode of travel. And Zobrist 1 out of 3, single to lead off the ball game. I'll write that down, Rob. Thanks for the tip.
You got it.
Always bailing me out. Right to McCutcheon. So 2 gone. I'll look back at our day automotive this day in Pirates history. Back in 1962, the National League beat the American League 3-1 in the first of the 2 All-Star games held that summer. And the Pirates with 3 in the starting lineup. Roberto Clemente with 3 hits. Dick Groat also singled and scored a run. And he turned 2 with double play partner Bill Mazeroski. That was back when the players for a few short years would hold a second All-Star game. And they did that to help raise money for the pension fund, basically, for baseball alumni. That was before free agency. That was before the big money shot in. And that was a way to just kind of give the old timers a little something back. So they would play 2 All-Star games. That went on 3-4 years, late 50s, early 60s. That was the last year it happened in '62. This year, just 1 on Tuesday in San Diego. Chris Bryant will be a part of it. He's got his second hit today.
It's become a big event, hasn't it?
Well, it starts today, really, with the Futures game, and Davidas Neverauskas part of it for the Pirates, the Lithuanian reliever. Home Run Derby tomorrow, All-Star game. And then in recent years, not only Wednesday a day off, but also Thursday. So guys actually get a chance to rest, even if they are part of the action, like Starling Marte. Anthony Rizzo. 7 hits in his last 7 at-bats.
Locke able to get one in on his hands. It's his average approaching 300.
Look at our barrel league leaders, and on the road he has the most runs batted in the National League, and his predecessor Chris Bryant right behind him. Yeah, 7 hits and 7 trips for Rizzo.
Rizzo from the beginning of the year to the end of May. Pitches inside, he hit 139. Now he's been better since then, since May 29th until last night. That average on inside pitches went up to 250. That's still the lowest average between inside, middle, outside. 385 outside, 400 in the middle. And that, again, since May 29th.
You're wondering what the record is. I know Walt Dropo of the Tigers had 12 straight hits. I believe that's the record. Early 50s. So 7. He's still got a long way to go.
It's going to end here.
You can bet a bottle of wine on it, right?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's ridiculous.
That's going to be a double. 8 straight hits for Anthony Rizzo. That's just a little league double right there.
I mean, he takes a big swing and he just hits it off the very end, a cue shot. You know, if you're struggling, it spins foul. When you're swinging the bat like he is, it stays fair and goes far enough down the line for 2 bases.
Second double today. So now second and third, and the Cubs with a 2-out rally here for Contreras. Rizzo now has 7 career 4-hit games, and 5 of them have come against the Pirates. Wow. And yesterday and today are 2 of them. It's a big out from Jeff Locke. And the Cubs strand 2 in scoring position. And the Buccos still down just a run. Cubs. And it stays that way after Locke stranding the 2 men in scoring position. Look at our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile, and the Cardinals entering play just behind the Buccos, tied with the Brewers in the 4th inning. And the Nats and the Mets, that series has been very, very fun. Daniel Murphy's been beaten up on his old club. Reds trailing down in Miami. Of course, we're following the Marlins as they right now reside ahead of the Pirates in the wild card standings. Pirates a game and a half back of that second wild card spot entering play today. Marlins are ahead of them. Cardinals now behind him. Adam Frazier singled off, literally off Lackey. Back to the second. And I'm curious how this will work. You know, Lackey very much can surpass 100 pitches. 110 he's gone over. Joe Madden wanted him to bat in the sixth so he could pitch this inning. Not calling for pending doom here or anything like that, but I'm just curious whenever managers make decisions, right?
Yeah.
It seems like that's the right decision to make, but
well, again,
we'll see.
Like the Pirates bullpen, the Cubs bullpen has been taxed, but the Cubs bullpen not nearly as impressive as the Pirates.
Lackey starts off on the right foot with his 8th strikeout. And MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. It delivers everything you've come to expect and more. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices, and it includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Sunny Sunday afternoon here from Pittsburgh. Jordy Mercer hitless in 2 tries. Deep but playable. Hayward records the second out.
Let's see if Fryer can get on for our secret weapon.
Oh, Josh Bell still available on the bench. Is that
the secret weapon?
Neftali Feliz is getting up after Locke has gone a pair of innings. Well, the Pirates are without a hit since McCutcheon's home run. That put the Pirates ahead in the 3rd. Cubs now up a run here in the 6th. So Lackey has been motoring. And there is Josh Bell. So indeed, be called on here. Fryer gets aboard. Josh Bell with perhaps one of the signature moments of the season when we look back, depending on how this one all shakes out. Even though the Pirates already had the lead in that game, it made it a one-sided affair. And who expects a guy in his 2nd big league game to come up with a pinch hit grand slam? But Ertl said it gave him goosebumps.
Oh yeah, that was something else. What a scene! What a scene here at PNC Park.
It just doesn't happen. And he'll get another chance later, perhaps, as Lackey sends down the side in order, and we'll move to the 7th with the Cubs still up a run.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Jeff Locke will get another inning as his spot did not come up in the order. Facing Russell, Hayward, and Baez do up 5, 6, and 7 for the Cubs, leading by a run. And a fair ball.
Throw him out.
Russell put on the brakes.
Another hard hit ball. There's been a lot of hard hit balls in this game. Fastball inside corner, belt high, and Marte does a nice job playing this. He didn't venture into the corner. He came charging in to where he had a shot if Russell decided to try to go for 2. But really, the first 90 didn't show a great urgency. Russell. There you see Marte knowing it was going to hit that short little fence.
Well, the Cubs have collected 5 hits off Locke. He has kept him off the scoreboard, though. Cubs have challenged in every inning except for the second. They've had multiple men on in every inning, except for that second inning, and right here with a leadoff single. So the Pirates doing well by keeping this a 1-run game right now. Big difference, like you said, Rock, between 5.5 back if the Pirates win today and 7.5 back if the Cubs win.
Yep.
Going into the break. Hayward 0 for 3. Robbed on that nice lunging play by Mercer back of the 5th. And that liner up the middle. Russell not much of a threat to run. He has stolen 2 bases.
Hayward is hitting to his fair share of double plays.
Signed that very lucrative 8-year deal in the offseason. Popped him up. Rodriguez audibly calling for it. Here all the way up here. So 1 away, and while we have a moment, I want to wish a happy 30th birthday to Megan Delatorre, a very avid Pirates fan. So happy birthday to you, and if you're celebrating a birthday, even though we're not naming you today, happy birthday to you as well. That's going to be it for Jeff Locke. Here comes the man in black.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Pittsburgh, and the Cubs have a lead 5-4. Going to the bullpen to try to keep it close after Locke pitched in relief. Now Neftali Feliz.
Perfect 3-0, 2.94 ERA. He has been outstanding, holding opponents to just a 193 batting average, 39 punch-outs, 33 2/3 innings, 41 appearances before the All-Star break.
This is game 89 of the season. It's always been the unofficial midpoint. 81 games represents the actual half, but kind of double the numbers a little bit. I get a feel where they'll end up. Baez with a single and a walk today. Jeff Locke went 2 1/3 out of the bullpen. John Neese, the Pirate starter, 3 2/3, gave up the 5 runs. Cubs have collected 13 hits. Russell on the move, and he's thrown out.
Tell you what, this tandem there, Fryer, Eric Kratz, they can throw. We've seen some great throws from Kratz, from the knee even, and from Fryer. Because I thought that was a pretty big jump from Russell. I thought he was going to steal that bag, but the quick release, the strong, accurate throw, the tag by Sean Rodriguez.
Fryer has thrown out 4 of the 6 men trying to steal against him between the Cardinals and the Pirates. And the base is clear. Cubs have stranded 8 base runners to this point.
He has the velocity, and so you gear up for it, and then he throws that slider. Good break. 81, good location down in the zone.
He struck him out. Baez caught looking to end the inning. On this gorgeous Sunday afternoon, the Pirates trying to go for a sweep of the Cubs, and the bullpen keeping it close. It's still 5-4 Chicago, and now it's time for God Bless America here at PNC Park.
Here and abroad. The Pirates and Sport Clips would like you to join us in welcoming Sergeant First Class Skip Owens of the United States Army. Sergeant Owens served in Operation New Horizon, Operation Joint Endeavor, Operation Joint Guardian, and Operation Enduring Freedom. While deployed to Afghanistan, Sergeant Owens sustained injuries from a vehicle-borne explosive device. Now well on the way to recovery, he is pursuing a postgraduate degree in modern affairs at La Roche College. The Pirates and Operation Troop Appreciation are honored to say welcome home, Sergeant Owens, and thank you. And now here to lead us with God Bless America is Hope Albert.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Pirates trail 5-4, and Josh Bell will pinch hit to start the 7th. What a memorable moment last night. The bell tolls loud and clear on that pinch hit grand slam in just his 2nd career plate appearance.
And it was something else. This place was going insane.
A curtain call. He'll pinch hit here for Phillies. With the Pirates down a run. So on Friday he was called up, had a pinch hit single. And this one is foul. Last night the grand slam. Now look at some of the social media from his teammates involving Josh Bell. He was very active. Point Park tweets from Jameson Tyone. Big for the first one. It was electric. Walt stating that Josh Bell elects to retire, kiddingly, of course, with that 2,500 slugging percentage where he's at right now. Tyler Glasnow, Josh Bell, enough said. Yep. Trending all throughout the country on Twitter yesterday. Switch hitter. 1-2. Lackey out for his 7th inning.
Tinkerbell. He named the nickname Tinkerbell because he likes to tinker with his stances. Well, I wouldn't say it to him, to his face. Big man.
Josh Bell 6'2", 245. And 2-2 on. Now to do that so early in his career, first 2 games of a big league career, last Pirate to have 4 RBIs in a game, Dr. Strangeglove, Dick Stewart, back in 1958. And of course Bell did it with 1 swing. And now he's worked the count in his favor, 3-2.
I know Dean Trainer always does a good job with these guys, and calls a team meeting when somebody gets called up. And apparently, when they got together, they told had the meeting and they said, well, Peter Pan showing in Pittsburgh, they need Tinkerbell. So that's how Josh Bell got the news. Something like that. And see Lackey, the velocity spiking up as he's over 100 pitches now. That one 94.
And there's the grand slam ball.
Keep making him work, and that pitch, backdoor breaking ball, 3-2. Borderline strike, so Josh Bell figures he better try to waste it, and he did.
He's seen 8 pitches already this at bat.
How about that?
He's been on base all 3 times. 9-pitch walk to start the 7th.
And that's the kind of a bat you like as a young player. I mean, you know, everything's kind of really fast. The first at bat, first pitch. The second at bat, I think it was 3 pitches to grand slam, and it's exciting. It's, you know, there's this nervous energy, and you know, I think you relax a little more the more pitches you see. That long at bat, a little more calming.
So still batting 1,000, on base 1,000, and that slugging still at 2,500. Setting up John Jaso, had a big 2-out run scoring single back in the 2nd. So Bell represents the tying run. Lackey working into fairly uncharted waters for him this season. 112, the most pitches he's thrown. That was back in May.
Not anyone important.
Ball and a strike on Jaso. And Josh Bell on the Neil Huntington show today on the Pirates radio. Neil Huntington, Pirates general manager, saying that Bell will likely join the club to start the second half of the season in Washington. Club is likely going to activate Garrett Cole, but maybe not for that first game after the break. So
Second game.
if they can have an extra bat for another day, especially one who's never made it out in the big leagues, why not?
And you can also, you know, you look at Gregory Polanco, and he's been dealing with that nagging leg issue, and so I'm sure he'll be reevaluated. I'm sure, you know, I don't know if he gets an All-Star break, if he has to stick around through the break for treatment, but you know, we'll see how he responds after the break and going into DC. If he's not quite back, who knows? If he has to go to the DL.
There's a base hit for Jaso. And the Pirates have 2 men on with nobody out.
Then you got the big people coming up, and so you couldn't ask for anything more than that. Another good at bat from John Jaso. Gets the pitch down in the zone and stays with it up the middle. I think John Lackey wanted him to roll over that pitch and try to get a ground ball, but Jaso stayed inside and hit it right on the button, and that will end John Lackey's afternoon.
Joe Madden trying to get a 7th inning out of Lackey. Instead, 2 men on. And the Cubs bullpen, as Rock pointed out, has worked a lot. They'll be asked to try to protect a 1-run lead here in the 7th. And the Pirates come back again. Find out next. Have a 5-4 lead over the Pirates. 2 men on, nobody out. And the Cubs going to the bullpen.
Pedro Strop, 1-2, 3.27 ERA, 45 strikeouts in 37 innings. Opponents only hit Strop 171. And Marte get the first chance against Strop. And we'll see Marte with his speed. Will he try to bunt? Will he be asked to bunt? Or will he try to bunt for a hit? Swinging away. Had the corners in, 96 miles per hour. Middle back.
Marte in his final game before the All-Star game on Tuesday. Going to go force there, but not enough time to get Marte, and safe at third.
What a bad play by Baez. Oh, I wouldn't even say a bad play by Baez as much as it's a bad play by Zobrist. You got a guy on first and 2 outs. If you got Bell caught in the rundown. I mean, Baez, it's a kind of unconventional for him to chase Bell back. He throws it to Zobrist. Zobrist chased Bell back. He chased Bell back. There's Addison Russell covering the bag. You got 2 outs with a runner at first. Zobrist trying to turn a double play with the speedy Marte. You have to know who the base runners are. Zobrist had no chance at Marte. That's a huge break for the Pirates. Baez, that's very unconventional. But if Zobrist, very heady veteran, a guy that really knows baseball, very surprised that he didn't recognize that, chase Bell back, and get the double play that way.
Joe Madden considering challenging this, but yeah, I don't think he's going to. No, he's not going to. And he shouldn't. That replay showed that the tag was not applied in time on Bell. I said the other day, I think Baez could win a Gold Glove at some point. I think his decision-making's got to improve, as we've seen today, but his talents are there.
Well, at first I thought he was nuts, and then I thought, wow, that actually would have been worked out very well for the Cubs if Zobrist would have followed suit.
So they get the 1 out on the fielder's choice.
That's a huge break.
Now McCutcheon with 2 men on, 1 out. Chance to tie or give the Pirates the lead. Down the line, twisting foul. McCutcheon gave the Pirates a lead with a leadoff home run in the 3rd. Chaso's hit, sending Lackey to the showers, was the first Pirates hit since then. That preceded Bell's pinch hit 9-pitch walk. He's at 3rd. Marte with good speed at first. This one down the line should be playable for Hayward. Should be deep enough. Bell doesn't run great. And he is safe.
Wow. What a play. And what a time for Andrew McCutcheon's first sacrifice fly of the year. Hit it just deep enough. There's gold in right field. Jason Hayward has a great throwing arm, and he set it up perfectly. He got behind it. He had momentum. Look at the strong and accurate throw. But Josh Bell just fast enough to get behind the catcher Contreras. Gets the hand on the plate. New ball game.
38th RBI for McCutcheon and a big one. 5-5 here in the 7th. And the very speedy Marte advanced on the play. He's at 2nd.
And that's a heads-up play as well.
With Marte in scoring position, 2-out hit could give the Pirates the lead again. Josh Bell. Nice slide. Three times on base in his 3 pinch hit at bats. Not easy for a rookie.
Give props to Josh Bell to 1 at bat. to get on the lead off this 7th. We've seen the clutch base hit, the clutch grand slam. This time just a walk.
But getting aboard.
Yes, sir.
And he was down 0-2 in that at bat and worked that 9-pitch walk. Even more impressive. Throw-out hit from Freese gives the Pirates the lead. 2-2 on him. Marte already with a pair of steals, up to 30 now. Extended his hitting streak to 6 games. Chance here for his first time crossing the plate. Stropes 2-2. Now full.
Now it would be a bit risky if, like you say about a stolen base, if Marte were to try to go here on a 3-2 count. The reason I don't like it is because it could be a distraction to the hitter Freese. But what it also could do is it gets Baez the vacate, and a ground ball roller to third goes through if they choose to cover.
Hit to right.
Too hard.
To right at Hayward. Pirates get that tying run on the sac fly by McCutchen. 5 apiece.
Going on here on the North Shore, AT&T in partnership with Root Sports had the It Can Wait simulator on site along the Riverwalk here on the North Shore. The It Can Wait simulator is a virtual reality driving experience that seeks to warn against the dangers of distracted driving. The 5-minute simulation mimics distracted driving with text appearing to the driver. The simulator shows the driver just how the slightest movement of the eyes off the road can cause the car to swerve. Through the AT&T It Can Wait initiative, more than 9 million pledges have been received on itcanwait.com from drivers who pledge to keep their eyes on the road. I actually took a ride in the sim, if you will, and it is very real. For more information, itcanwait.com, guys.
Thank you, Dan. Tony Watson is now aboard for the Bucks.
Watson the good numbers. 183 opponent average, 39th appearance. 284 ERA, hoping to keep this one tied at 5.
He'll face Almora Jr. Pinch hitters Matt Caesar out on deck, and then Ben Zobrist 2 up. Hit a 2-run home run in the 4th. There's Caesar.
Quick work. Change up fading away, well off the plate, but got the chase.
Now Matt Caesar hitting at .261. Used a lot as a pinch hitter. 7 for 26. That's about the same batting average. The Pirates bullpen really doing a number again today. Picking up for John Neese. Gave up 5 runs in 3 2/3. So far the bullpen has been unscored upon. Look at what they've done. It's really been incredible. And this is not just a day or 2 or 3. This has been 3 weeks now of incredible pitching from the Pirates pen. I'm going to put into work what they've done today as well, and you're looking at 6 runs over 63 innings. It's the stretch that they're on right now. Toward the notch. Played very well by McCutchen. That'll keep Caesar with a pinch hit double.
That's about as far as you can hit a ball in the gap at a major league ballpark without hitting it out of the park. And that's fortunate for Tony Watson and the Pirates that that ball was hit towards the notch. 410 feet away. And good job getting it in, holding him to a double.
5-5 in the 8th. Ben Zobrist 1 out of 4. Well, Watson has had the knack when he has been in jams like this with a runner in scoring position. Hitters 2 for 32 against him in that scenario.
That's pretty impressive.
Bend but don't break. In the air. And caught for out number 2.
Curious. To me, that's another bad play by Zobrist. We talked about the bad play in the bottom of the 7th inning to where he had a double play. He had a double play, an easy double play, and he made the wrong decision. And to me, this is the wrong decision here. You know, he's a guy that 13 home runs, 47 RBIs.
I mean, if you get a bunt down and it's a sacrifice, you put a runner at third with 2 outs.
No, he's trying to bunt for a hit.
Surely.
He bunts for a hit and it's first and third, 1 out, and he leaves it up to Bryant. You know, but
that's what I'm saying. I mean, the odds of you actually bunting for a hit if you're Ben Zobrist,
they're pretty
great.
good, and that's why he tried it, because the third baseman was back so far. If he gets it down, I mean, that's what his thinking is. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a bad play because you're an RBI guy. You are a great hitter. You've been a great hitter for a long time. You're an all-star. Don't leave it up to the guy behind you.
Swing the bat and get a base hit right.
Yeah, this guy's a really good player. And to put it on, I mean, obviously you got the guy that's leading the league, or close to leading the league in RBIs. With 64, I get it.
Here he comes. Caesar to the plate, and he is in. Bryant takes second on the throw, and the Cubs retake the lead 6-5. And for just the 3rd time all year, someone gets a hit off Tony Watson with a man on in scoring position.
Yeah, and this ball was hit hard, and I'm thinking that as hard as it was hit, that with Marte in his arm, you have a shot at the plate, and he does have the strong, accurate throw. Maybe a little deep was Marte, but great break from second base by Caesar. A great break. Good anticipation, good turn. Marte did everything he could. It was a strong, accurate throw. He did all that he could.
15 hits for the Cubs now. Anthony Rizzo has 4 of those. He has hits in his last 8 plate appearances, dating back to yesterday. And as you've pointed out, Rock, he's just finding ways to get aboard.
And he has been so locked in and so hot that can you even pitch around Bryant to get to him left on left? I mean, that's the only other option. Bryant, again, that was his 65th RBI. He had first base open with 2 outs, but Rizzo hasn't made an out, so how can you do that?
Into the shift. Still time. And that finally retires Anthony Rizzo. But the Cubs go back out on top. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Cubs have retaken the lead 6-5. And the Pirates trying to earn a series sweep in the move within 5.5 of these Cubs, but they are not going away. They've banged out 15 hits today. Now they got to turn to a guy who's pitched 14 1/3 big league innings to try to protect a 1-run lead in the 8th.
Hard, and he's not a very big guy, slender, but that ball jumps out of his hand. Fastball, curveball.
Carl Edwards Jr.
Opponent averaged just 125, 11 punch outs, and 9 2/3.
Rodriguez is homered today. Now, the Pirates have come back twice to take leads and another time to come back and tie. Still 1-2 on Rodriguez. Not a lot of pitchers wearing single-digit numbers, but that's becoming a trend. Adam Ottavino of the Rockies started to do that a couple of years ago, and then since then, Marcus Stroman and Mike Leake, Blake Snell, Carl Edwards Jr. That one gets away. And Rodriguez will get aboard to start the 8th inning.
Contreras has been throwing the ball around, almost hoping for him to throw it away after not doing a very good job of blocking that ball. He tries to pick it instead of getting his body in front of it. It skips away, and Contreras has been pretty good with a bat in his hand, but he hasn't had a very good defensive series behind the plate.
So it counts as a strikeout and a wild pitch, but not an out. And Adam Frazier with a chance here. He got the start today out and right. 1 out of 3. Trying to even this thing back up. Edwards just 14 plus innings in the major leagues, being asked to protect a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. They used Strop in the 7th, I would presume, because he was coming out with 2 men aboard. That makes sense. But really, beyond Strop and the closer Rondon, a little bit with Travis Wood, the Cubs have not had a lot of reliable relievers that are healthy right now.
Edwards Jr., a young guy, but see how Joe Madden has confidence in him. I mean, that's a big arm. I mean, he lets it go.
Broke his bat. Frazier runs well. They'll get 1, and that's it.
If you're going to hit into a force play, the one positive is you have more speed now on the bases. Adam Frazier, a threat to steal. Able to come through with the hit, but gets through the first base bag in plenty of time, and now see if we can get him into scoring position.
(6-5) Cubs here in the 8th. The difference is 2 games in the standings. Pirates win, they're 5.5 back. They fall at 7.5 at the break. Frazier not going.
That was a bit loud. Foul tip right. Throw that mask. Pretty good swing from Jordy.
Now 2 strikes.
And Edwards Jr. pretty quick to the plate. Which makes it very difficult to get a jump if you're Adam Frazier.
Edwards out of Prosperity, South Carolina.
And he might stick with that fastball with the runner on, and he's going to throw this one away. Big hole on the right side for Jordy Mercer.
1-2.
A lot of times that's just a purpose pitch. They'll throw that fastball well off the plate away just to try to speed the hitter up and set up a breaking ball. But then again, does he have enough confidence to throw that breaking ball without putting it in the dirt and moving the runner into scoring position? Yes, he does. Curveball there. Jordy wastes it. Didn't quite get it away. Left it middle. But got away with it.
An all rookie battery right now. With the game on the line for the Cubs. Cubs have lost 9 of 10. Really reeling. Their bats have picked them up today to the tune of 15 hits.
It seems like the Pirates have had opportunities. It's surprising to see just 7 hits total.
The Cubs are 7 for. I got to do the math again. Boy, math is Tough. 7 for 39 in this series. Runners in scoring position.
Back.
Frazier running on the pitch. He didn't know, and he's going to be doubled off easily, and that will end the inning. He's at third base. And so what started promisingly ends in a teaching lesson. Cubs, ninth inning.
Frazier taking off, and now he did peek in. I'm not sure if he saw the contact or saw if the ball was in the air. He did peek in, but on a play like that, if it's in the air, you got to put on the brakes. Make sure that that ball's not caught. On that one in particular, you have to put on your brakes and get back, because with Hayward's arm, you couldn't afford to get too far from first base. I don't know if he peeked in and thought that that ball was going to get down. That's my guess. But an inning-ending double play from Frazier, and not only does it end the 8th inning, leaves you one batter short from getting to Marte and McCutchen. It'll be 8-9-1.
I was thinking that too. You know, how is this inning going to play out? Are you going to start the 9th with Jaso, etc., perhaps?
And so Mark Melancon going to try to keep it a one-run game. His last outing before the All-Star break, his 40th appearance, a 1.26 ERA.
And in theory, everyone with 4 days off, so you might as well use these guys. Melancon may be accepted from that, of course. And have Contreras, Russell, and Hayward due up for the Cubs. The Pirates bullpen again having to work quite a bit today. 4 in the 3rd innings, plus what Melancon will offer here in the 9th. Just able to hold that in. Nail biter.
Ball tailing away from him, and just enough glove.
So 1 away with the Cubs leading. Usually Melancon, of course, coming out in these situations with the Pirates leading. Clint Hurdle with the All-Star break coming up, but also I would imagine acknowledging the gravity of this game, even though it's July. The season doesn't end if the Pirates lose today, but if they can win, this really puts them very much in the thick of things. it's either 5.5 or 7.5 back at the break.
That's why these games are always so important when you're playing against the division leader. Each game's pretty much a 2-game swing.
We've seen Clint Hurdle in this series take out Chad Kuhl in the 3rd inning yesterday, took out John Neese in the 4th inning today. So not trying to, soak up some more innings, some needed innings from their starting pitching. If they're ineffective, they're done. I think that's probably added a little bit to the atmosphere. We've seen a couple of sellouts, another one here today. 2 folks shy of 38,000.
Perfect day to watch baseball.
Oh boy. Sunny, temperature good, warm. As Rock was alluding, now we're looking at Fryer, a pinch hitter, and Jaso due up for the Pirates in the bottom of the 9th. At this point, needing a run. Pirates looking at their bench, assuming Polanco is unavailable. Not sure if Harrison is available. Young and Kratz are the others that could bat for Melanson. There's a foul ball. What a snare. Susie Kuhl making that look easy over there.
Very nice.
At all costs. Best in the business over there. All the Pirates ball gals who could, you never see a ball get away. I would sit down by them because you're likely to get an easy souvenir. Nice play tracked down by Rodriguez. And Mark Melanson issues a scoreless 9th. It's up to the Bucks bats. They need a run. From the All-Star break Friday as they open up a series from Washington, D.C. Check out the Buccos take on the Nationals Friday starting at 6:30 with Pirates pregame. Presented by W.B. Mason right here on Root Sports. Here we go. Bottom of the 9th inning. Pirates need a run. Try to keep this going and send the Cubs home with a sweep. Or to San Diego. Most of them. 6-5.
Rondon. Pretty impressive stuff. 178 ERA, 32nd appearance. Only 4 walks with 41 strikeouts, looking to save his 14th of the year.
Josh Harrison is going to bat for Fryer. Talking with him this morning, hadn't really smarted, but feeling a little better today. Not a lot of padding down there. Leather, sock, foot. And a little bit more protection for himself to start things. Trying to get aboard for Jung Ho Gung, who's moved into the on-deck circle. He would bat for Melanson. There's Gung. That good power. The way you draw it up, right? Get aboard, and then Gung wins the game. Hang it up there. And Mora records the out. And now Gung. Rondon last night in a one-sided game struck out the side in order. He's tough.
Against the righty, mostly fastball, slider, an occasional change.
Wonder if Gung will see fastballs. Doesn't very much. Starts him off with one. And a strike. Pirates down a run in the ninth. They come from behind twice to take leads early in this game. They mustered a run in the seventh to tie it. But right now the difference, a two-out run-scoring single by Chris Bryant off Tony Watson back of the eighth. Did he go? Yes, says Chris Guccione.
Pretty close. You can see why he said he went, but still close. One of those I think could have won either way.
One, two. And Gung raced on that slider. Two gone in the Pirates' ninth.
Didn't pick this one up at all. Didn't see it. Well out of the zone.
All up to John Jaso. Couple of singles today. Trying to extend the inning. Starling Marte would be next. One swing of the bat can tie it. With the Pirates down a run. And a ball and a strike.
Done it before, right? Come up with a couple in the ninth inning to extend it.
Can he repeat the feat? He's down to his final strike.
What makes Rondon so tough, he throws hard. You're seeing these fastballs, 97 miles per hour, and he locates it. He's able to put it in spots where it's tough to hurt him. Down and away.
Came up as a starting pitcher through the Cleveland system. Through some injuries. Cubs plucked him out of the Rule 5 draft several years ago. Now one of the better closers in the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jaso with 2 outs. Pirates need a bolt of magic here in the ninth. 3-2. Jaso can get on, Marte, and then even McCutchen would be due to follow the All-Star.
Hung a slider, went to the slider 3-2 and left it up. See where all those pitches are. Boy, he got away with one there.
Zobrist will get the final out. And the Cubs will salvage a game of this series. And the Pirates, winners of 9 of 10 coming in. The Cubs, losers of 9 of 10, will go into the All-Star break with a win.
You got to admire the way the Pirates finished down the stretch, leading to the All-Star break. What an exciting series we had here against these Cubs, and pretty close to sweeping the series. You know, Lackey, you got to give him credit. He got into some trouble early. He's able to pitch into the 7th inning. And the Pirates just kind of like the way it's been, you know, struggled early on with the starters and just couldn't come back this time.
You look at it, going to St. Louis, winning that series, taking 3 out of 4, coming home, taking the series 2 out of 3 against Chicago. You'll do it. And the Pirates falling today 6-5 to Chicago. Time now for the post-game show. Here's Paul and T.